Backseat Drivers time.
Good evening and welcome to Backseat Drivers number 11 for 2024. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but Matt was up till 3 a.m. playing iRacing and didn't complete his tasks. So that's why we're a little bit late tonight.
And now I've been told off and I'm not allowed to do it anymore.
First things first, though, the most important news. Well, obviously the fancy paint job on the Alpina for the weekend. That's looking very sexy for a movie that people are in trouble for not inviting other people to.
Yep.
And Esteban has a job next year.
I mean,
it's been confirmed. News. He has signed with Haas. So they've really kind of consigned themselves to boredom. Well, I suppose inter-team fighting, but yeah.
What boredom otherwise?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Is Bearman going to be, the savior of everything? And then Ocon?
It's gonna be a weird dynamic in that team.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, Andretti's not allowed in because they don't bring anything to the table. But yeah, this shit show continues.
I mean, Dave, you've got to have some teams that hold up the bottom. I mean, there's,
yeah,
you can't all be winners, Dave.
Yeah, yeah, Lance. So I'm just trying to think. So we've got Gasly, and who's going to end up at Alpina? Oh, we got a special guest tonight.
Special guest?
Are you ready?
Yep.
It's not Rob. It's Bobby.
Holy crap.
I don't know what the hell has happened here. There we go. That's a bit better.
What happened there?
Oh,
that became the background.
This one's quite fun.
I like this one. This one feels like Bobby's our overlord controlling our computers and then every so often deciding to break them all.
Yeah.
Dave, I thought you were going to point out the actual big news of the week.
And then we lost him.
Oh, we lost Bobby.
Yeah.
I have declared
maybe CrowdStrike took over and kicked him off.
Dave, I'm declaring myself the smartest F1 man ever because all my predictions
here we go. Yep.
McLaren 1-2 finish. Matt got that.
Yes.
One more winner. Matt got that. And then in brackets, I wrote Oscar, and you said I'd only get half a point for that last week. Now it has been fully upgraded to 1 point. I'm currently 2 points.
Well, in the match Redamus.
Okay.
In the Matt challenges of 2 points, I am 2 for 13. Yeah.
So, good.
Look, it doesn't matter that it was an absolute shit show of a race, but I was correct. Yeah. And you know what else we got to see, Dave? We all got to see team orders in action. It was absolutely fantastic. Just amazing.
I don't know what to say about it.
We got to see McLaren's team orders and a whingy little child. We got to see Team Green with Papa Stroll's team orders and a whinging little child. We got to see a whinging little child who's told that he has to go to bed because it's a school night and he can't just stay up all night playing video games. Dave, look, we've all been there. We've all been playing video games and our parents have come through and said, hey, Matt, you need to go to bed. It's 3 a.m. You've got school/work in the morning. And we've all gone, I'll be fine. And then we get 3 hours of sleep. And what happens, Dave? We finish 5th. And our teammate probably loses his job.
Yeah.
Max is going to have to be a character witness when Checo gets Centrelink. That's going to be an awkward conversation. I mean, what does Checo do during the summer break? I reckon he already knows he doesn't have a job. You can see it in his face. He's known before the Goodwood Festival of Speed. He just doesn't look like a man that knows. He's one hand, he's going to have a summer of Checo. On the other hand, he's going to have a lot of free time. He's not having a fun time. He's been told, unless you can magically score 37 points on the weekend by yourself, you don't have a job over the summer break. Because Dr. Helmut wants his giant trophy at the end of the year, and he's not helping him get it. And everyone's like, oh, but he brings in, Mexico money. I'm pretty sure that's not enough.
No, of course it isn't.
Giant trophy.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Red Bull kind of doesn't need the money as much as they probably want to actually win.
Yes, I think they'd rather win. I can't wait until Rob is on. I know this sounds harsh, Rob, but when you're on Suicide Watch, when Dan and Liam are both racing around the track, and you are in a unstable mental health, condition, and we have to go and check on you because Dan will have a job, Liam will have a job, Oscar will have a job, Doohan might have a job, and Checo is going to be. Does he have a place in Mexico, Dave, or is he one of those people that lives in Monaco because of the sun and the proximity to the races?
Yeah, I'm not.
He probably would have a
sure
place.
on that. Yeah, I reckon he'd be monarchian now.
Where does Checo live? I know. He lives in Mexico.
Ooh,
Oh, there you
so
go.
he's not one of the. So he's not like the other. He's not like the other drivers that live in Monaco.
I mean, Boovy, he lives in Mexico, but his residential address is Monaco.
That's fair.
It'll be Checo, care of this Monaco address. I have bought a house. I feel like Rob's just grasping at straws at this point. I think we've decided that it's fully aware that it's not how many points you score in a little cash app machine. It's if you're in the second best. Well, and also if you're in the second best car, you can't be finishing seventh.
No, of course not.
That's not how it works. It's just like how Bottas and the Forgotten Chinaman, no one's having a go at them because they're just for fun.
Yeah.
Does he really make money for the country, though?
Who's that?
Pride for the country.
Does Pride pay off mortgages, Dave? I'm just out of curiosity.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be the
That's
first to
right.
admit.
I think there's a lot of the population living in poverty and things like that. But it's okay.
So if what you're saying is if he was actually second in the Drivers' Championship, less people would be in poverty, and it's all Checo's fault?
Yeah.
Basically.
That's what I thought. Dan
brings
brings
joy.
Disappointment.
Yeah.
It brings absolute joy into this country. What are you talking about?
Everybody's happy with Dan around.
Exactly.
I feel like
I haven't seen the Dan Murphy ads. They're awesome.
Yeah.
his new one where he's bought a horse.
Yes, I've seen that one too.
He got a
I
horse.
don't think
Dave.
I've seen that one.
Came out this morning. Him and an NFL player have bought a horse,
Yep.
and I don't know if it's
A racehorse or just they've bought a horse?
I think it's just an ad for Monster Beats by Dre kind of thing.
Yeah, it's something for that. Oh, sorry, Apple owns thing Beats by Dr. Dre.
Yeah,
now,
they're all the same.
basically.
Yeah. Do we quickly go through the tipping from last week?
Yeah,
Oh, let me guess. Dave got 10 points because Dave's now doing the scoring.
exactly.
No.
And you accuse me of cheating.
No. I'm not accusing anyone of cheating.
No, when
not
I
yet.
did it.
Yeah.
When I did it.
100% will be 100%.
Okay, coming in last this week. Have a guess.
Rob,
Dave? Rob.
Matthew.
me.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, he gets 1 point for putting Lando in first. Nothing else was correct.
Wait, I put Lando in first.
Yeah, you put Lando for the win.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
you get one. You get 1 point for Lando's win, and that was it. In what will be fourth position for the week, Boovy.
Let me guess, I only got 2 points.
Yes, you only got 2 points for Lando and Oscar in the wrong positions.
I don't believe Boovy picked Lando and Oscar. I believe we have video footage, Dave, of him missing the boat and him getting his actual picks.
I've given him, the benefit of the
He's
So
giving me
there.
leeway to put him in
So there's
late.
collusion now.
Dave, disappointingly, only came third this week. Piastri in first for 5 points. That was the only one I scored points on.
Okay.
E-Scooter came in second for the week with
Ooh.
Norris in second for 5 points and Piastri he had down as third, so 1 point there for 6 points.
Okay.
And winning the week,
Yep.
Rob,
Really?
15 points. He had
Holy crap. Really?
Piastri first, Hamilton third, and Stroll in 10th.
Well done, Rob.
Oh, well done, Rob.
So that means Matt is currently worst on 11 points.
Makes sense.
E-Scooter, fourth on 15. Rob vaults himself up to third with 17 points. Boovy's only one ahead on 18. And Dave's still leading on 24. But being caught at a great rate if
So
Rob
you're Max Verstappen and Rob's
Lando. Rob's Lando.
Rob's
Rob-
Lando.
Rob's Lando.
He's going to be dominating this thing by the end of the week, by the summer break.
Sure.
And
Does that mean I might be out of a job? Because I'm not.
yeah,
holding on.
we might have to. You're not scoring enough points. Under your contract, you need to score.
my performance contract.
Yeah. So, do we do tips for this weekend now, or do we?
Sure.
Well,
Let's
since we're
do
already done, let's get him out of the way.
Okay. E-Scooter, Rob, do you want to type in yours? Boovy?
All right, let's go. I'll go Lando for the win.
Oh,
Second place, Hamilton.
Ooh.
Hamilton.
And third place, I will actually put Max.
Okay.
And 10th, we'll go Yuki.
Yuki. Matthew?
I think Max will
Incorrect.
go first. Max will go first because he won't be playing any more video games. He's got and he'll be very angry.
Mm-hmm.
I got Lando, and then we'll go George. Yeah, why not?
So Lando, George.
Yeah, why not? And then 10th, I want to say Rookie of the Year. Just because I feel like someone's already picked Yuki, and we'll make it exciting.
All right.
Okay, E-Scooter's put his up.
Lando, Lewis.
Carlos
Saints.
and
Albano.
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 Okay.
Why is Rob making up the fourth position?
No. He's put the correction on the next comment.
Nah, too late.
Yeah.
He's done fourth. The problem is you're too lenient with Rob. He needs to learn.
He needs to learn.
I'm going to go Lando and Pastry.
Another one too.
Another one too.
Yeah.
Well, again, that will only work for me, Boovy, because I've already said that Zach's going to get a couple more tattoos this year.
Is he going to get one now? Is he going to get one? Is he going to get the Hungary ring now?
Rob, I'm not worried about anything. I'm a winner because I'm playing my own game, and currently I'm 2 from 13.
So I've gone Lando, Piastri, Lewis, and Perez in 10th.
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
Max
that's the
is,
point.
He'll get a
Max is changing an engine.
single point for his final Grand Prix.
Okay.
Yeah, did Max get the 10 place grid drop?
Yeah, that's for
Yeah,
getting
so
into the
it
power
looks like Max will probably have to change his engine. So I'd hate to have picked Max for the win.
Nah, Max is angry. You know what else is good, Dave?
I still predict that Max will pass Sergio in the race.
Of course he will.
Dave, another reason why I picked Max is because I'm playing big brain moves here, Dave. Max is gonna collapse, and I'll be wrong. Checo's gonna collapse. McLaren 1-2, 37 points. The gap gets even smaller. That's another win on my thing. And then my other prediction that Singapore is going to be the race of the season because it's going to be absolute pandemonium. I don't mind losing. This is just the little boy's game. I'm playing the man's game of guessing all the outrageous things.
How crazy can you go?
Do you think there'll be someone at Max's door just to knock the door and go, just checking you asleep, Max? Now, remember what we said? You can play your iPad till 9 o'clock, but then it's lights out. You're not having your simulator. We're leaving that in the plane or the truck.
It'll be Helmut Marko.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
he'll come in, but it's scary bedtime stories.
Let me tell you the scariest story. It's when we promote Yuki to the Red Bull car. Oh. It's too late in the night for scary stories like that.
I'll tell you about a story of a man that we signed to a contract extension just so that we could fire him a couple of months later. Okay. Some places are already reporting that Alpine has signed a Mercedes engine deal for 2026.
Yeah, I read that as well. So from 2026,
that it is actually a done deal.
It's a done deal, and they said costing was going to be massively reduced for Alpine. So instead of spending $100 million to make their own engines, to be a customer of Mercedes is only going to cost them 17. So they're looking at it in a sense of, let's save some money.
We'll
build the chassis. We build the chassis anyway, so that's not a problem. And then, we'll just use a Mercedes engine, which seems to be the best engine so far this year.
Well, and most people are already predicting it'll be the best, or they're the most advanced for 2026 at the moment.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if that's just because they did such a good job in 2014 that people are going, last time there was new rules, they were the best. Or it is actual genuine rumors going around. But see, Alpine could have nearly chosen anyone to partner up with.
Yeah, exactly. They could have gone Ferrari. They could have gone. Who else? It's basically
anyone.
Mercedes,
Honda,
Ferrari,
Red Bull powertrains.
Yep.
Audi.
They could have gone anybody. Yep.
They're
going to bring in the new engine. Yeah.
Or they could have gone Super Mario Andretti and just said, "You can't be in F1, but can you make it an engine?"
Yeah, well, they could have, got Chrysler or whatever, Cadillac.
Basically GM.
The Andretti engine.
Doesn't Welcome to Wrexham own some of
that?
Alpine?
Well, see those?
See
the little. You can't see what my pointer's doing in the screen, but see the little cut marks in the back of the car there.
Yep.
That are leading to it's. Maybe if we remove Boogie for a second. There's the little. I think this livery is because of a movie.
Well, at the very bottom there, Dave, it does say Deadpool and Wolverine. Just
Oh, yeah, it does say there as well.
I mean, I don't want to give it away. I know I've seen the movie before, and I don't want to ruin the spoilers for everyone, but I'll give you a spoiler. This car's not in the movie.
Just on is the movie worth seeing?
Yes.
Okay.
Very much so.
That's cool.
It makes a lot of fun of a lot of things.
Oh, that's good.
I don't want spoilers. I just want to know if it's worth seeing.
Well, Ryan Reynolds is in it.
Yep, we know that.
Hugh
Jackman.
Jackman's in it. Hugh Grant's not in it.
Is he front or rear Jackman?
He's front Jackman. He's not the one that gets knocked back 30 meters by Lance when he forgets how to use his brakes.
But that was the Jackman's fault.
What, for sitting in his position?
The Jackman should have anticipated and not stood that close to where he was going to.
You know what? Never forget that Lance Stroll is an idiot. Every week we must be reminded that he does dumb things.
What did he do this week?
He didn't follow team orders because
what was the team orders?
Well, he was he was trying to chase down Yuki, and they said, "We'll give you a go. Chase down Yuki if you can." And then they basically told him, "You're not going to chase down Yuki. Give your position back." And look, I don't know exactly this is the radio message, but I heard it as where, I'm a little baby. I'm not giving it back to Fernando. Wait until my dad hears about this. Do you know who my dad is? That's right. My dad owns this team. Radio silence, and then he just kept driving. Look, it could have been a little different, but that's basically what I heard.
Yeah. Apparently all Crofty hears is, I stayed up till 3 a.m. I can't win this race.
And then in between that was Lando being explained how a constructors championship works.
That was the best. Think about the debrief on Sundays.
It was so condescending.
Oh, my God.
Someone made a good point. It's almost like Oscar has become, the Iceman, and he's turned 30 years old. Like, he won his first race, and maybe he could have cheered like a maniac, but it was like, yeah, well done. Job well done. Carry on,
Next.
Next
he's
race.
the Aussie Raikkonen.
He is. Yeah, tick. I'm just going to give Matt a call and let him know that I won a race and we got a 1-2, just like he said would happen. Yep. But it just seemed like Lando had to be explained how. I mean, I don't understand it. I would have thought that you'd want Lando to get more points to close that gap.
Yeah, I think so. I was listening to something during the week, and they were basically saying that McLaren at the moment don't think they can win the Drivers' Championship. Their aim is the Constructors this year, which is probably a little bit short-sighted on that. But then you don't want to say piss off Oscar too much in a situation like that, where apparently they had said basically, who's leading into the first turn or gets preferential strategy, which their policy would be that the leader would typically get the preferential strategy, and that was the only reason why Norris ended up in front.
It just seemed so weird. Like it was very awkward, like listening to them talk, where his engineer basically had to explain to him, like, you need both drivers to drive. And then, I don't know if you heard, Dave, they must have cut it out, but after he said you need both drivers to win, I don't know how this happened, but Max got onto it and he said, you're not bloody right, wrong there. And then he stormed off and hung up and kept driving. And then I think Checo came in about 30 seconds later, too late, and went, did someone ask for me? Never mind, I'll get back to doing what I don't do best.
And then Crofty made a comment about Max staying up till 3 a.m. playing iRacing.
Yeah.
Jeez, he couldn't let that go.
I'm surprised Crofty didn't just say, he's probably playing the Fortnite, because that's a game I've heard of on the internet.
Oh, jeez.
Then Ted piped in and said about something about 2021 Abu Dhabi.
Yep, of course he did.
Yeah, because
Speaking of commentators who can't let things go.
Never forget, Lance is an idiot, and Max stole that race. How did he steal it? Him and what's his name?
Michael Massey.
Michael Massey in cahoots, Dave. In cahoots. Yeah. Never forget 2021 cahoots. He was playing the Pac-Mans and the Space Invaders. I imagine Crofty's like, do you reckon he plays Pong at night with Newey and he's like lost a partner? Because Newey's an old man too, so he probably plays Pong as well. He doesn't have time for these newfangled things. Anything you can do on paper.
Yeah, I was going to say Newey plays Hangman. Because you can do that on paper.
he probably plays Scrabble on paper somehow too. Or he's got like he plays chess by correspondence with like one of the Ferrari engineers. And then they send him messages like, you know, come over to Ferrari with us. And he's like, I'm gonna build a yacht. Ooh. I like that idea.
You can nearly do it while we're chatting.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well played. This is top quality chat.
Yeah. You think it was bad last week. We can always go the worse.
We can always you can always dig lower into the barrel.
An e-scooter game.
I would. That'd be a good game to play. So does that mean he's? Have they like? Do you reckon they've just told him off and said, "Look, you can't stay up late"? Or I don't think he's going to stop.
Yeah,
It's basically they said, "Look, okay, fine. It happened this week, but if it's going to happen again." Your iRacing team. No. We don't give a shit about your iRacing team. The main one's more important.
But does he have? But Boovy, the thing is, because he's such a big name, a lot of big sports stars, and I know a guy that used to play. It was like this big, and it was an orange circle, and it had stripe, and it would say Spalding on it. And he was a bald man, and he's very good at what he did. He had in his contract a love of the game clause where basically at any time he wanted, he could just go off and play his sport. I imagine Max has something in his contract that says, when I want to, I'm just going to jump in a sim racer. If I'm not actually doing F1 at that moment, I'm doing sim racing. And they're like, whatever, we don't care. Just here's your $100,000 sim racer.
Yeah, I think there's probably something in there that as long as it doesn't affect the occupation, where this weekend it's potentially affected it.
It's affected it because
do you think though that it affected him, or was it just not a good day to be a Red Bull?
I think it was not a good day, and then he's probably been a little bit, if you've had lack of sleep, you're probably going to be grouchy. If things aren't going your way. Yeah. And the other thing as well, like there was an interview with Grosjean recently, I think in regards to the IndyCar or whatever, and they'd said about him being a whinger and that. And he's like, no, every fucking driver does it. It's just that they would focus in any time I'd say something and play it, like every time, because they would do this narrative that, like, I whinged on the radio. And he goes, everyone fucking does it. It's just that was the narrative they decided. And so everything like Max on the radio, because they obviously knew he was quite wound up. Yep. So they just play every little thing that makes it sound worse.
They get all of, because from what I understand, they get all the, what's it called, Sky or BBC or whoever they are. They get access to the whole team radio, and then they can choose to play back. Like if they're just going to talk and go, hey, Boovy, what are you doing after this? Should we get a kebab? They're not going to play that. That's boring. What they are going to play is hey, Boovy, you screwed up my left wheel. This is garbage. God, I hate you so much. Oh, this is the worst night ever. And then 5 minutes later, Boovy, never mind. We're doing all right. We'll get some chips as well with that kebab. Maybe we'll get a Pepsi as well.
No. The best was saying he just drove in, like the way he said he turned into me, that sort of stuff. And then his engineer goes, Max, I'm not gonna go over this thing. And
it's childish. It's childish.
Yeah, but just the way he said it, it's like but just the way his race engineer decided to talk him down was just it was great.
A lot of them were children this weekend.
Oh yeah,
where their principal or the engineer basically had to explain to them, we don't have time to complain and whinge about things. You need both your drivers. We're going to give Oscar a win here because you'll probably get a couple more later in the year. Settle down, and if all goes to plan, and if they decide to keep Checo, maybe we get a free Constructors' Championship, and Zach has to get a massive tattoo on his chest of the Constructors thing, and then and then life-size drawings of Oscar and Lando next to it, smiling like a really awkward family photo
with Checo in the background.
Yeah, saying thanks, Checo.
He's kind of the third driver at McLaren at the moment.
This, you know what he's championship. He's the double agent. He drives for Red Bull, but he races for McLaren.
It was a secret plan after they hired him 10 years ago.
You know what happens, Dave? At the end of it, when they get the Constructors thing and Lando and Oscar are holding the trophy together, Sergio just walks past real quietly and then just yanks his top off and he's all bright orange. And he's like, it was me the whole time.
I'm just thinking of Zach flicking him the keys. Here's your new car.
Here's 70 McLaren cars. I don't even know what you do with them. They're all yours.
Yeah.
And you know what? You can have one of my NASCARs. You and Dan can go for a drive.
Yeah. Which car did I promise you could have a steer of for winning your Constructors' Championship?
You were secretly our test driver the whole time, bringing them down.
This is great. Just looking at the F1 site. So Ocon will still be in F1 next year.
Yep.
Because basically Haas has confirmed the fact that they've actually signed him. Why?
Yeah.
Because
of reasons. Because we're too scared.
I want to see some more people. I want to see some new people. Like, okay, fine.
Well, at least they have signed the Bear Man.
At least they signed the Bear Man. At least Ocon's still under 30, which is okay.
Yeah.
He's 27, so he's 27.
Okay. So he started quite early then.
Yeah, I think he started early.
He was 2016, I think, was his debut.
So, what are we, 2024? So he's probably about 19 when he started.
19. Yeah. There you go.
Dave, unrelated, that issue that we had this 33 minutes ago has magically solved itself, and everyone's going to be welcome to, I'd like to call show and tell of what Matt did this week.
Should we do that on the outro?
Oh, we could. Yeah. I just need to
entice people to hang around for another 23 minutes because strictly we only do this for an hour.
Strictly.
Dave, you shall receive an electronic message. And
I'm not sure what Rob's talking about.
Well, he believes that Dan's going to be kicked out.
Yep.
And Yuki's going to be in the Red Bull.
No.
You get what I'm...
No, that ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
I like how Rob thinks that Yuki hasn't been red zoned and been told you're never sitting in that Red Bull car.
No matter how much he says it, Perez has more of a chance of being a Red Bull next year than Yuki.
Of course.
And his chances are pretty much nil at the moment.
I wouldn't mind Red Bull Light to actually put Lawson and Hadjar in there, though. It would make it more interesting.
I think my prediction is that Dan will be in Red Bull after the summer break. Lawson will be at Toro Rosso. And then depending on how the two of them perform for the rest of the year, if Dan isn't successful in the Red Bull,
All right, sorry.
If Dan isn't successful in the Red Bull, Lawson will make the jump up and Hadjar will be in. If Dan is successful, it'll be Yuki and Lawson in there next year.
Yep.
And that will probably be Dan's last year as well. Before then, Lawson makes a step up and then Hadjar comes in the year after. And then you've also got Yuki then potentially going across to Honda Martin.
Honda Martin, yeah.
Well, as Yuki said, if Lawson got the Red Bull seat before him, it would be weird.
Well, it's going to be weird. Yeah,
it's going to be
I'd hate to tell you, you're gonna find it weird. You've been friends.
I find amazing though, like Yuki. As much as I wouldn't mind seeing Yuki in a Red Bull. It'd be good to see what he could actually do in a rocket ship. But the way Red Bull kind of operates is a weird. It's almost like there's Cash App Racing Team, which is one team. Then there's Red Bull, and then inside Red Bull there's another team called Marco's Avengers and Max Racing, and then there's the Christian Horner Collective, and together they fight each other over the stupidest of things. Like any other team, they would be last in the constructors. And it would just be a comical thing every week. Oh, look at this old man who still runs the team is fighting with his team principal. He's trying to do this. There's a guy who's been there for 3 years who's actually very good, and they've told him basically, you're never getting the good seat. That's not for you, because one half of the team leaders won't let you go in that seat. Just purely out of spite or something.
It's got to do with the fact that he's really associated with Honda. Like Honda's saying, like that's the reason why Yuki's there, because of the Honda deal. And then once, like they said, they're just going to get past this year and next year. Then after that, they'll probably end up kicking Yuki out anyway.
Oh no, I've heard it on good authority, Booby, that Yuki's management, Rob, has declared that he cannot be kicked out. He's only going to Red Bull or bust.
Dan was there. They just forgot to give him a strategy.
Oh, yeah.
No, they did. And then they admitted on TV that
they fucked up.
Oops.
Yeah.
We done goofed.
Yes. What the hell?
All I can think of was that 2.5 Men meme or whatever, where I think we're forgetting something and Dan's just stood there in the rain. The big thing though is whether they are serious about the Toro Rosso being its own proper team, or whether, like Marco in his fantasy land, that it is a Red Bull Junior team still. Yeah. So that's the problem. Like, not everyone's on the same page with everything now since Massachusetts has gone. Like, when Massachusetts was there, it was definitely Toro Rosso was there to feed Red Bull with drivers. Whereas now it's very muddied that, oh no, Toro Rosso is going to stand on its own. It's going to have its own proper sponsors and it'll have a lead driver and all that kind of stuff. And now you got Marco going, I don't even know why we have a second team if it's not there for junior drivers.
Just out of curiosity, Dave, I know this sounds morbid. How much time does Dr. Marco have on this good planet Earth? Because
I don't know.
I feel like him or Horner, like I said, I think Horner's going to get the choice of his marriage or the team. And if that happens, it becomes fully fledged.
Goodbye, Sporty. Which spice was
Ginger
it?
spice.
Ginger spice.
Ginger spice.
Goodbye, Ginger Spice.
Yep.
Well, would he pick Ginger over the team?
Goodbye, Ginger Spice.
I think, Matt, he just answered your question.
A lot of these things have been, like, I think Checo's been told he doesn't have a seat. That was told ages ago. And I think Hornier has been told at the end of the year, you need to make a decision. Is it goodbye to me or playing with your toys?
Let's be honest. When it comes to Christian Horner, he can find a new wife. He can't find a new Formula One team.
No, nobody will hire him.
You reckon that's how Christian Horner operates? He's just like, well, you know.
Yeah, I've still got WhatsApp.
I don't know if you've seen those messages. I'd be keeping Jerry Spice. If I was him, I'd be like, it's easier for me to find another team than land a Spice Girl.
I don't know. Dave, could you imagine him in a job interview if that's what he's like, trying to chat up?
Dave, I've seen those messages. I've been told many times that you and I may be also batting well above our average. Hornier is batting in a different sport. Like, did you? And we all saw him when he first met Ginger. He was not he was a weird looking man. Like, let's be honest. I make fun of him, but Toto is cooler. Toto has more game.
This says more about Ginger Spice than what it does about Christian Horner, I think.
Maybe she was blinded by like one of the jewels that was on the Monaco Red Bull car when it maybe
when it was a Jaguar.
Yeah, well, maybe he promised it to her, and then he's like, "Well, we lost it. I don't know where it went, and we'll never know."
Yeah,
I just feel like he will be given. He'll step down, and then Red Bull will fall apart, and then Max will move to. I reckon Red Bull will fall apart in a year or two anyway, just because there's too much bonkers happening.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they go with the changing the rules and with doing their own engine.
I do. It'll be like this. Wait. Hey, Adrian, I know you left. Yeah, can you come back? Like, we'll give you Red Bull, all of Red Bull, all the cans. You can have the aeroplanes. You can fly on a hot air balloon. We don't care. You can fly jet ski into a helicopter, onto a plane, onto a mountain.
Build your own boat.
We'll have a boat factory. Okay, cool. We'll see you in 2026. Bye. I would let him have a couple of years off, and then
they did that once before.
Do you reckon this is just he called their bluff and just went, "I'm gone"? And they're like, "Okay, maybe you come back in a year or two when we really need a good car."
I think it's done there now.
Or do you think he saw, because he would have seen a lot more than everyone gets to see? Do you think he just saw and he's like, this is getting too complicated for me?
I think also he was a little bit annoyed with the narrative last year where people are saying, Adrian knew, blah, blah, blah. And then Christian Horner a lot of the time was saying, look, it's team effort, and he was a bit annoyed not getting as much credit as what he felt was deserved. Well, but then on the flip side, they're trying to keep everyone else happy because it's not one person anymore, it's 1,000 people.
Well, Dave, there's no I in team, but there is an Adrian Newey in Adrian Newey's Red Bull F1 racing team. Like, he's a big chunk of that.
The problem as well, say with Red Bull, because they haven't promoted, say, for a long time. Like, you kept hitting that ceiling with Newey there. So they've lost a few good men that have then gone on to lead other design departments for that, like, you know, Aston Martin and McLaren.
But I don't think Adrian would care about that. I think Adrian would see that as a good thing, that he's but well enough that they can run an F1 team.
Yeah, but then you also got to look at it from Red Bull's point of view that, you know, Adrian's not getting any younger, and then you're losing like the next guys underneath.
Oh yeah. I think because you got to see it from either Adrian or Red Bull. Red Bull aren't happy because they've probably lost 5 or 6 good people, whereas Adrian's like, look at me, my legacy will live on because now I have a guy at Jag and I have a guy at Oster, you know, there's a guy at Nissan now and there's guys in F1, there's guys in yacht building, you know, and they can all say that I was, you know, Professor Newey helped me get this job. Whereas, Red Bull will be annoyed that like, well, we don't have anyone now. You screwed us. And he's like, can't hear you over the yacht.
Yeah. So that there's, probably been a little bit of all that going on as well. And then the hornier thing, probably
didn't help.
A good excuse to get away from it all.
To get out. Yeah.
Plus, he's also, you know, he's not getting any younger.
No.
He's made a lot of money.
He would be quite comfortable that he can go off and buy a. He's got the RB17 to play around with.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did anyone hear what they said about when they were talking to them about the RB17? They're like, oh, we've got a lot of interest in it. Max is definitely getting one. Checo, we don't know. Like, to me, that sounds like Checo might not be getting the employee discount that he thought he hoped he would. And he's going to have to pay full retail on this because we've taken his badge. And then, you know.
He's probably also scared to drive around Mexico because, you know, the other people driving something like that are drug lords.
Yep.
Well, I thought he'd just be scared to drive it because he'd smash it into a wall and have to start at the back. Because he
the cost of repairs.
He is winning the Constructors Championship.
Yeah, he's doing very well.
Someone made a comment about that one of the reasons that Red Bull don't want Yuki is because they're scared of the amount of crash damage. And you're like, if they were worried about the crash damage, surely you would have got rid of Perez a lot earlier.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, I've heard a lot of them are that he causes too much crash damage. He's still immature. It's mind-boggling.
As much as you know, it's fun teasing. Like Yuki probably should be promoted.
Yes.
Under the normal of what Toro Rosso is there for, Yuki should be the one. But then they should have also, if Toro Rosso was what it's supposed to be, they should have never employed Dan in there. Lawson should have been the one to go up at that point. But
it proves that it's a marketing. Dan, like as much as I love Dan, but I can feel like I think Dave over the next couple of like weeks or months, I can start hitching my my horse to the Oscar bandwagon a lot more full time. Like I'm 50-50 on the 2 bandwagons, but when I need to, I've hedged my bets and I've got Oscar and I've got Dan. And then when the Dan Lake dries up, I'll be like, I've been Oscar all, you know. So I'm already, you know, happy that they have, you know, we've got a winning Australian and then a popular Australian.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anyone saw, but again, I love reading news.com and seeing snippets of the project because they are the dumbest people on the face of the earth. Basically,
they know their target audience.
Well, the thing is, Dave, you think you and I do less like prep work for this? They cut to, I think it was the project and that Waleed guy, and he's like, oh, did you hear this? Oscar won the F1, but no one knows who he is. I'm like, I know who he is, and I barely watch. You know, I knew who he was before. Just because you don't know who he is doesn't mean everyone else doesn't know. He's like, we should really watch him. Yeah, most people have. Oh, I'm surprised no one in Australia has ever heard of this man. No one at all. I just asked the 4 people in this in this TV show, and they've never heard of him. You know,
they're in their own little world.
But I did have one of them ask me, "How's that Michael Schumacher going? Is he still winning the races?" It's just
somebody's trying to. In our group chat, somebody's trying to show where Yuki is in terms of the deconstructors. Unfortunately, with that crash last weekend, he's skyrocketed up a lot higher than what he currently is.
Out of how do you get $5,000 worth of damage?
He chipped the carbon. He chipped maybe a small bit of carbon fiber.
Yeah.
Or a plank had to get redone or something. But that's only. I checked. I was trying to find the latest update for that. I know it comes up on Instagram sometimes, but that one, when I read the Facebook link that came up, that's only to round 8. What are we round?
I was going to say, Sergio's definitely done more than $2.5 million worth of damage.
He's done $20 million worth of damage. He's basically ruined the Red Bull name.
That's only to round.
What's the difference between first and second in the Constructors' Championship?
I don't know.
Well, Booby, how much is Red Bull worth? Just look up value of Red Bull and then just halve that by 50%. That's what Sergio's done. He's cut the share price of Red Bull by half. He's done irreversible damage to a brand name. In fact, they could sue him for slander. Is there such a thing as F1 slander for ruining a team's good name?
Deconstructors Championship. I'm just doing a search. Here we go. I've got the latest one now.
Is it $8 million for Sergio?
He's still up there. He's 2.8 million. Albon is this one's still not updated either because it's only going to the 3rd of July. It hasn't.
We've had 7 races since then, Boovy.
Yeah,
we've had 82 races and 14 sprints at least.
We're actually over halfway in the championship now, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. Last round was the halfway point.
Or as people know, Checo's second last race.
Yep. Also, strange
the
coincidence.
The penultimate race for Checo.
Yep. Also,
just
scrolling through the socials again.
Checo musical chairs.
Can I just get this back down?
Checo, you don't have a seat here. Hey, Checo, have you been to Fantastic Furniture? They have seats there. Hey, Checo, what are you doing next summer? I don't know, but it's certainly not working here.
Definitely not.
Hey, Checo, have you heard of Mexican F1? You should start it. You'll be free. I mean, I've got more.
I know you do, Matt. That's what I'm trying. I'm waiting. I know you do.
Just waiting for the gap.
I'm just waiting for the gap so I can actually say something. For some reason, every time they've just shown it here, one of the weirdest coincidences in F1. Hulkenberg in 2016, Hulkenberg left Jet Force India. Who did Jet Force India sign?
Perez.
No, Ocon.
When was Perez on Jet Force India then? 2018?
So Hulkenberg left 2016. They signed Ocon
time.
for 2017. They signed him in 2017. Hulkenberg left Renault at 2019. 2020, Ocon joins Renault.
Oh yeah, and then
now Hulkenberg's left Haas and Ocon's gone to Haas. Do they have the same manager or something?
Just following him around,
basically saying, "Okay, you've left your spot. I'll take it over."
It's just like Dave at my old job. They're like, "We're going to do a leadership change," and they had Dave, Matt, Boovy, and they're like, "Matt's in charge of A, Boovy's in charge of B, and Dave's in charge of C." There we go. Matt's now in charge of B and Boovy's in charge of C and Dave's in charge of A. They're still in the same job. They've just got a new title. And then someone had the stupid idea to ask, "You've changed nothing. You've just moved it around a bit." And they said, "Anyway, on to the next slide."
Yeah.
My next slide of George Russell, why I should be Rookie of the Year. That's an old slide. Moving on.
So with that new signing, there's 5 seats left for next year.
Is that including Checo's lack of seat?
No.
No, he's still listed as under contract.
He's still listed as on the grid. He's still listed as on the grid for 2025.
Yeah.
So just quickly,
He'll
if
probably
that
be paid.
Sorry?
He'll probably be paid.
I reckon.
you reckon he'll get a Dan like payout and he'll start his
Of
own
course.
wine company?
No,
Or
he'll
he'll
start
buy-
tequila. No,
They
tequila.
they grow other plants in Mexico.
guava.
No,
Right.
he'll start brewing. He'll start distilling tequila.
So, Dave, if
Yeah.
this thing is to be believed, where Sergio can't be 100 points behind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? He's 141 points behind. Now, correct me if
failed.
I'm wrong, Dave. I'm just looking at the points. You only get 25 points for winning and
Yep.
8 points for a sprint. Now,
Yep.
it's not a sprint weekend,
Nope.
right? So that's another 8 points he's not going to win. Even if he gets 25 points and Max finishes 10th, he will still be greater than 100 points.
Yes.
Yep.
There's no secret bonus points for the summer break, double points. It's not like you buy Mountain Dew and it's double XP and you get 50 points for winning. Okay.
No,
Nope.
So yeah, they can terminate him
Yep.
now.
So he would be and how legit is this performance thing? Because I'm assuming they'd have to have something like that because it ties in with the constructors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably pretty right that everyone's talking about it.
For sure.
Because it's only 51 points between McLaren and Red Bull now in the constructors.
Yeah.
Which is, I would say, uncomfortably close if you're a Red Bull.
Yeah, well,
It's getting
I
there, yes.
reckon McLaren are probably going to have another 1-2 this weekend.
So
I
if they
would
get
love
another
that.
1-2, that's another 44 points at least.
Yeah, and I can't see if Max has got a grid penalty, that will limit whether
So
he
you're
probably
hoping
won't get to the podium because
It depends
the
on how
Mercedes
it
are going to be
qualifies, though.
close. Yeah, but still,
Although being Spa, it's a track that does suit Red Bull a bit.
Well,
Yeah,
except
you can.
it attracts one Red Bull. The other Red Bull's going to do this. Like one Red Bull will go that way, and the other Red Bull will go that way.
We know that. Yeah, we know that.
And Mr. There'll be that footage where they cut to Checo coming out, and then they'll cut back to Liam Lawson, who just seems to just sit there like this. He's like, "Yes, just wait, Liam.
Excellent.
Just wait. You'll have plenty of time." It
Don't
used
worry.
to be Dan you were waiting to crash. Now it's Checo.
Checo.
And then Dan will be waiting there, like that meme where they're just one person up.
One person ready to stab them in the back.
Red Bull weren't dominant at Silverstone though,
No,
so
they weren't.
I think this is going to be similar-ish to Silverstone, kind of.
Yeah. Although technically you got to think Spa's like two separate tracks, like within the same track. You've got the low
A big long
downforce
straight,
area.
mate. Yeah.
You've got the low
But
downforce two sections, and then you've got that twisty middle section.
I don't think this is going to be like, was it last year or the year before where Max had the penalty and it was like he was playing F1 on easy mode?
No,
where
that
it
was
just
2020. No, that was
2?
2022. Yeah, it wasn't last year.
Okay. And it was just like pass, and then it's like, which lap will Max get to the lead? And it was something ridiculous, like
Laps
15 cars in 3 laps kind of thing.
Oh, it was nuts.
Yeah, you're like,
Didn't he
let's be
literally
ridiculous
say it
with
for a
this.
long time?
Max will be in the lead by like lap 8, and then it's like, completed it in 3.
Yeah. I wanted the platinum medal, overtake the entire crowd in under 5 laps.
Yeah.
Any difficulty.
So with him getting the penalty this week, it's going to make it very, very difficult.
Yeah,
in
so
regards
I
to-
can see him getting to like say 5th, somewhere
5th?
around there.
He'll get points. He'll get points, but he
Depending
won't
on
be
how
podium.
strong Ferrari are, he'll get to around that kind of probably between 4th and 7th.
Yeah.
And then
So Dave, if he does that,
Checo will be behind that. So they could end up with, 10 points, say, from the weekend, while McLaren gets their hashtag 44 blessed.
yep,
And then that's another 30-point odd swing.
Yeah.
yep.
It's crazy.
Which then, even if you've got a competent number 2 at Red Bull for the rest of the season, it doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't.
It's only 4 races till Singapore, Dave. I'm calling it now, Dave. Singapore is going to be an absolute menace of a race.
Which Red Bull would have already been looking at Singapore as a bad race.
Yes,
when,
of course.
Like at the start of the year, when Max seemed fairly comfortable that he was
that was the only
potentially going to win every race. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be glorious.
Oh, yeah. So you look at it now, Belgium this week, summer break, we go to Zandvoort.
Yep.
Then it's Imola, then it's Monza.
Yep. That's a McLaren 1-2. I'm calling it early. Just lock it in now. 1-2 there.
Yep.
Next movie.
No, Dan will come out in Monza.
He's
Red
Bull. Red Bull.
Yeah.
You know what? I change it. It's going to be an Australian 1-2. Even better.
Yep.
And if they could, they would hold hands together and Men at Work, Land Down Under will play as they cruise through.
They do the shoey thing where they interlock their arms on the podium.
Double shoey. Dave,
it's not just a double shoey, they interlock their arms.
You know what?
Wow.
Dave, if Dan wins the race this year, I will do a shoey. That's it. You can write it in your notes. You've all heard it. I will do it. If Dan wins a race, it's a shoey. If Dan and Oscar finish 1-2, I will do a double shoey. I don't know how, but I'm doing a double shoey. I will fill up a shoe. Maybe not an old shoe.
No.
I'll find a shoe. Here we go. Not this shoe, but like an example. And then I'll drink the Pepsi Max like this. And I'll bathe in the glory that is Dan getting 25 points.
We will record it and we'll also put it on the socials if we have
I'll put it everywhere.
We just need to find someone to do socials first.
Yes. Make it tequila.
Maybe if Checo keeps his seat and wins a race, I'll have a shot of tequila. Oh no, I don't think there's any tequila in the house. Oh well, that's probably an issue for later.
Don't stress.
Yeah, you'll be fine. All right, so where were we? We got to Monza. Next was Azerbaijan. Baku.
If only there was a street champion who was driving in his Red Bull and at the peak of his form employed there, he might have won that race.
Mm-hmm. Then the week after is Singapore, which is the Red Bull Boogie race.
That will be fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And that's then the last 6 races, and then then we get the month off.
Boovie. Then there is the civil war in Mexico when they're expecting Checo and a silly Australian wearing a giant rimmed hat turns up doing cultural appropriation. It goes terribly wrong and he has to be airlifted out of Mexico.
You can just imagine him coming with a little mustache with a mariachi band behind him.
He'll have the pistolero things and the pistols across his thing. Yeah, and there'll be a mariachi band playing and it will go down like a ton of bricks.
Oh yeah, guaranteed.
And you know what'll make it even worse? Max will win that race and they'll boo him. They'll boo him back to Las Vegas.
No, next race after that's Brazil.
Oh yeah, they got Brazil first.
Yep.
That'll be all right. Lewis will win that.
What, Vegas? Or
No.
Brazil?
No. Dan's winning Vegas. It's written. It's his destiny.
So which will be Lewis's final win?
Brazil.
No. He'll win Abu Dhabi, but it'll be 3 years too late. And Ted will be like, "No, you were meant to win before." And then Massey will come down on a plane and go, "It was my plan all along." And then it won't even matter because McLaren will be 100 points clear of the Constructors' Championship. And Max will taking him, Why Nintendo taking down for copyright infringement?
Yeah.
That'll be some
Please explain.
Super Mario haircut or something.
I don't know.
Ice climbers.
Yeah.
I mean,
we are checking.
Are we?
Well, Rob is.
Rob can check.
Dave, do you have the greatest thing to send us out with?
No, where did it go?
I believe I shared it to you.
While we're waiting for this.
Yeah. We have some
while Dave tries and finds. While Dave's waiting for this. Did you find it?
Yeah, someone emailed it to me.
Hooray.
Okay. Joss will put Max in the naughty corner.
Have we seen a lot of Josh this
No,
this season?
Not as much.
Is he busy, like throwing shoes at people or something? I don't know.
I think he's just staying away from the shit show that's happening at Red Bull.
But he's usually the one that causes it, Boovy. Normally when there's a shit show, he's the one that turns up and he's like, "Someone asked for me. I need to go fight someone." And I think because Checo's
doing so badly, maybe there's
he doesn't have to get angry at anybody.
Exactly.
Disappointing. Does Doss like Dan? Like, what's their dynamic like, Dave?
No idea. I think they got along okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure because
I think it's more of a hello.
That's time.
I just feel like if Dan wins a race, he might not. No, I sent it this week, Rob. I sent 2.
Just sent it in the format that you couldn't download it or
use it, but then magically
in a program. Anyway, we seem to be loaded up.
Yep.
I don't think I've seen this yet, so apologies if it's a disaster.
We have no idea what's going to happen.
We
have not seen this. We have not seen this, people.
We'll be back next week to review the Belgium Grand Prix and chat about another McLaren one too.
I will keep making videos because I've decided never to stop.
Yeah. Well, the only way you could only get better.
Exactly.
You'd think that, wouldn't you, Dave?
The classic line from the In-Betweeners. Things could only get better from here. Or they could say the same. Or they could get worse.
Yes. Play the video, Dave.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Please do it now.
Traveling in a fighter. McLaren.
Don't give it up. I'm trying to rescue myself.
I'm not even going to get into a radio fight with the other teams, Max. We'll let the stewards do their thing. It's childish on the radio. Childish.
The man from Melbourne leads. He announced himself in Formula One with a tweet that said he would not be driving for another team.
Thank you, everyone.